Good morning, ladies. Happy Wednesday to you all. I hope you're doing well. Let's warm up with a hip opener, chest opener, which is going to require one big step.
The next workout.
One big step. So step, and then circle the arm, Opening up the hip flexors first with the big step, step, and then circle, opening up the chest. Great. Two muscle groups that tend to be shortened throughout our day, so I always love to stretch those muscle groups. Great. Big step, big circle, Nice. Opening up those hips, opening up that chest. Great. Let's do a couple more. And nice and tall. Good. Last one. Big step, big circle. Great. Let's keep those feet nice and wide now. Stretch out those hip flexors and inner thighs as we push those hips back. Mindful of that knee not going past the foot. Should feel a nice stretch in that inner thigh. And we're going to just do a little side to side here. Great. Should feel like a great stretch. And if you like, you can reach across with the opposite elbow to knee there. Good. Reach. Let's do some pulses here. Great. Little pulse. Breathing throughout. Nice. All right, let's do a little balance, march, reach. One arm up, opposite knee, right in front of that hip. Now remember, with that balance, you want to focus on that spot in front of you. So pick a spot and focus on it, something that's not moving. A pet's not going to work for this, unless it's lying down.
Begin set 2.
All right, reaching and hold. Good. Try to work on that shoulder flexibility, that overhead reach, which is another thing we kind of tend to lose as we get older. We don't practice it. Great. Nice. Right over that shoulder. Excellent. Woo. Should feel like a good stretch. Great. And then let's do a little booty kick, activating those hamstrings. So leg curl here, knee stays underneath the hip. You should feel some nice hamstring activation, dynamic quad stretch here. And let's add a little high row to this. So on that high row, palms are facing down. You're driving those elbows back. And that's just activating that upper back, postural muscles. If the high row doesn't feel good on the shoulder, if you've got a shoulder issue, sometimes the low row will feel better. So feel free to do that as well. Either way, you're, again, activating that upper back. You're pulling muscles. Great. And feeling those legs now, hopefully. Excellent. Breathing, getting into that breathing pattern. Maskless breathing at home. How nice is that? Who knew? We'd appreciate that.
Exercise.
Great. And then we're going to finish up our warm-up with a squat jack. So jumping jack without the jump. Crossing the arms in front, mini squat. Arms go overhead, lifting a leg to the side. Here we go.
Begin set 4.
Making sure on that squat, you're pushing those hips back. Knees stay still. And then trying to get that overhead reach, if you can, all the way overhead. Shoulders allowing. Good. Should be getting that heart rate up a little bit now too. Nice and warmed up. We're going to start today with a bench squat or chair squat. Okay, so I'm going to add some weights to that. And you can too if you like.
Exercise and
I'm going to use this chair here. Now remember, your squat is your functional movement, part of our daily routines. So we're going to start with feet about shoulder width apart on this. And then you're pushing your hips back just as if you're sitting down in the chair. You don't have to go all the way down. You can touch down if you're flexible enough. And then you're going to drive up and squeeze the glutes, okay? But the idea with the chair or the bench is just to get those hips going back and to minimize forward motion of the knee, which puts stress on the knee. Good, so first set, I'm just gonna hang the weights by my side. Squeeze the glutes, good. Push the hips back. You're also trying to keep that chest up if you can.
Stop exercise.
And that is dependent on, I didn't realize I have my vest on. I was wondering why it was so warm here. It's good to have my vest on. Okay, it's dependent on your flexibility, basically. Whether you can keep that chest up, but you want to try to do that. All right, so I'm going to add now a curl. I'm going to squat, curl, okay? Squat, curl. Now I am actually touching the chair. Again, depending on your knees, on your flexibility, you can either touch that chair or bench or just get close, okay? But really want to focus on quads, hammies, glutes here. Also keeping the abs tight.
Exercise.
If you've added those weights, you are getting an arm curl, working the biceps as well. Okay. And this mask does not want to stay on today. All right, shoulders down, chest open, knees soft here.
Begin
we go.
set 3.
Touching back and curl. Good. Touching back, curl. Squeeze the glutes up top. Push through both feet and squeeze. Good. And your exhale is as you go up. Nice. Push those hips back. Squeeze the glutes. Inhale. Great. Now, if anybody feels any knee discomfort here, you're going to keep that squat higher. You always have the option to go to a wall sit here if that feels better. But sometimes if you go too deep, that could activate some knee discomfort. If you've got any issues, I'm going to add some pulses here. Again, this is only
Begin set 4.
your knees feel good and you want a little more of a challenge. I'm going to do 3 pulses and then drive up, squeeze the glutes, okay? And pay attention also to the knee position. Even though you want to minimize the knees coming forward, they may be coming forward a little bit. You just want to make sure that they are in line with, think about second and third toes, okay? People's knees sometimes tend to go inward, occasionally outward, mostly in.
Stop exercise and
which
switch
can cause
to
some
the
knee
next
discomfort.
position.
So something to pay attention to. All right, I'm going to keep one of these guys for a triceps kickback. And I'm going to do that on my bench. And remember, you can do this in a standing position if you prefer, if you don't have a bench handy or a piece of furniture that you want to use. If you're doing it over a bench, elbows pinned to the side, extending back, slowly lowering. Now this is your pushing motion. Again, functional motion. You're pushing a door open, you're pushing yourself up in bed. These are the muscles you're using, your triceps. And there's your exhale. Slowly lowering.
Stop
Now,
exercise.
depending on your weight, if you still got more on that one side, if you have a lighter weight, you're going to stay on that same side. I'm going to demonstrate the standing version. I think everybody knows this, but I just want to demonstrate just in case. So, got my
Begin
opposite
set 2.
leg in front, opposite of the working arm, keeping that upper arm still, pushing back, okay? And then we're going to come back. I'm not going past 90. I'm not going way up here. I'm sticking to 90 degrees, 90 to 180. And why is that? Because I'm going to emphasize that pushing motion, which is going to work the triceps, okay? And there's the push or extension. You should really be feeling the back of the arms on this, ladies, or the back of the one arm. Push. Good.
Stop exercise.
One more. Squeeze the triceps. Excellent. All right, we'll switch sides. So that's the standing version. Again, if you do have a bench or a sofa, it it works well to the bent over version I like because you were working
Begin set 3.
completely against gravity, similar to the row. So it's a little bit more challenging, especially if you slowly lower, or slower, I like to say. You'll really get the benefits of working that muscle, resisting gravity. Great. And here's your exhale as you extend. Slowly lower. Head and neck in that nice neutral position. And slowly lowering.
Stop exercise.
Let's do one more. Slowly lower. All right, quick break. Quick break. Mask adjustment. Great. All right. Here we
Begin
go.
set
Last
4.
set. Elbow pin to the side. Remember, you're pushing back, emphasizing that pushing motion. Slowly lowering, not going past 90 degrees. Extend and hold. Making sure that wrist stays nice and neutral with the forearm. Great. Inhale here. Exhale, hold. Nice. Woo! Squeezing the triceps.
Stop exercise and switch.
All
to
right,
the
well
next
done,
station.
ladies. All right, we're going to do a little band glute hip work today. If you've got a band, now's the time. We're going to put it right around your ankles. If you don't have a band, don't worry. You can still do this exercise without one. It's a balance.
Begin set 1.
Balance and leg hip exercise, hip and glute. So I'm standing on my left knee, left leg, knee is soft, abs engaged, nice and tall through the chest. I'm going to reach front, side, and back. Now, if you do have a band, you want to try and keep tension in that band, squeezing that glute behind you. And if you don't have a band, you're focusing on balancing and squeezing, still squeezing that glute behind you on that rear
Stop exercise.
kick. With the band, you'll feel a lot more resistance, of course. Switching sides. So this is great for your balance and for, like I said, glute, hip work, leg work. Just make sure that standing leg is not locked out. You want to make sure that
Begin set
knee
2.
is soft. Here we go. Keeping the abs nice and tight. Front, side, back. Now, if you need to touch down in between, it is okay to do that, of course. But you want to really focus on standing on the one leg, only touching down if you need to. Okay, so you touch down here if you need to, here if you need to, here if you need to. But try to get a few reaches in
Stop
without
exercise.
actually touching down. You'll really feel that standing leg working, ankle, all those stabilizers in the other leg. Okay. Set number 3, resetting. Shoulders are down, chest is open, head and neck in that nice neutral position. Here we go.
Begin set
Reach.
3.
This one I'm going to do more of a sweeping, a little harder, sweeping motion. Just because it allows me to keep the resistance in that band the whole time. So if you're able to do this, a little more challenging. Again, you can still touch down and back if you need to, or in front. Still staying nice and tall, keeping the abs engaged. And if you've got that band, you're keeping tension, ladies, the whole time in that band. You can feel this whole area working here.
Stop exercise.
And I don't know about you, but I always love to work my glute, my hips. All right, shake it out. Last one. Making sure that knee is soft, abs are engaged, shoulders down. Here we go. Again, we're gonna do a sweeping motion here.
Begin set 4.
Sweeping motion or semicircle, okay? Good. Now my torso is not going forward or back, just moving that leg, keeping the tension in that band, woo, and feeling it big time. Woo! Nice, ladies, working on the balance. We're breathing. You're breathing a little more easily than I am without the mask. Great, almost there.
Stop exercise.
Well done.
And switch to the next station.
All right, so we are gonna lose this puppy and make our way to the mat or the floor. Now I'm gonna take a couple weights with me here for later, but we're gonna start with some abdominal work. We're gonna start with some bicycles or
Begin
dead bug.
set 1.
So if you have a head and neck issue, you can go to dead bug, which just to review, most of you know this, abs are braced, knees over the hips, hands over the shoulders, opposite arm and leg away from the body, head and neck out of the picture, okay? In other words, they're relaxed, they're not working, your head and neck. With the bicycles, you're holding up your head and neck, or just keeping it up with your arms open loosely, not pulling. And you're thinking about that shoulder
Stop
going
exercise.
to that knee, okay? Now, if you have a sensitive back and neither of those feel great on your back, if you need more back support, you can just keep one foot down with the bicycles by marching like this. You can still make it nice and challenging by keeping those shoulder blades up. It's a small lift with the leg, but that will give you more back support. And I still feel it big time in the obliques, okay? So, I'm gonna go back to a more advanced bicycle. Shoulder to knee, breathing. Knee doesn't go past the hip here, here.
Stop exercise.
Oh, great. You can pull those knees right in. Relaxing that head and neck. Stretching that back. You can rock side to side if you like. Okay, resetting. Here we go. Set number 3. Head is up.
Begin
Work.
set
You're doing
3.
dead bug. Knees are up. Abs are braced. Breathing throughout, ladies. Woo! Heating up now. Always takes going to the mat to really heat up. Now again, if you feel anything in your back, if you're doing this advanced version and you feel any pulling on your back,
Stop exercise.
you're going to put one foot down and go to the marching version, okay? Woo! Quick break. I got the lights right in my eyes. All right, ladies, we have one final set here. Let's gear up for this. Knees up, abs braced.
Begin
go.
set 4.
Shoulder to knee. If you're doing that dead bug, you're trying to get nice range of motion with that arm behind you. I see a lot of people doing this. Let's try to really reach back and reach back to work on that shoulder flexibility. Bracing with the abs, no matter which exercise you're doing. Woo! Almost there. Shoulder to knee on the bicycles.
Stop exercise
Woo!
and
All right,
switch to
we're
the
gonna pull
next
those knees
station.
in. Awesome. All right, we're gonna go to a pullover next. So I'm gonna use my 2 weights that I have here for the pullover. Just to review the pullover, it's sort of like it sounds. You're gonna hold 2 weights behind you, or you can
Begin
alternately
set 1.
hold 1 weight, which I'll demonstrate that first. Depending on the weight that you have, you're reaching back and you're pulling right over the chest, okay? So, whole time you're keeping the abs braced as you reach back, pull right over the chest. Now, if 1 weight works, you're gonna use 1 weight. If 2, you need a little more of a challenge, you're gonna use 2 weights, and you can keep those weights together. So this exercise is really great for working the lats, your big back muscles,
Stop exercise.
chest, triceps, and you should feel the abs as well in this. Now, if for some reason this does not feel good, so you have a shoulder issue and it's too much, you can alternatively go to a push motion here,
Begin set
if that
2.
works, okay? Or you can do this, as I said, with just 1 weight, maybe not going back so far, limiting that range of motion. But again, working the chest, lats, triceps, and abs. So this exercise is unique in that it's working the front and the back. Usually with a pull motion, we get more of that back side. With a pushing motion, we get more of the front side. With the pullover, it's kind of a combination. You're getting the chest and triceps as well as the back.
Stop exercise.
So I really like it for that reason. Also getting some shoulders here and abs, as I said. You'll find you have to really brace with the abs on this. Okay. Now you can always
Begin set 3.
add a bridge on this if you like. If your weights aren't too heavy and you want to add a bridge, it's sort of a nice compound movement. So as you stretch back, inhale, and then exhale as you pull up and squeeze the glutes, hips come up. Great compound movement. I'd love to do this together. Getting all sorts of upper body, core, and lower body here.
Stop exercise.
Squeezing those glutes. Great. We're going to do one more set, and then we're just going to focus on some bridges, okay? For those of you who maybe you're just doing a pullover, or even if you added the bridge, we're going to do some more
Begin
focus
set
bridges.
4.
Here we go. Here's your inhale, exhale, pulling right over that chest. Good. Excellent. Going for maximum flexibility here. Reaching back, squeezing those glutes up top if you're on that bridge. Pulling that weight over, feeling the chest, feeling the triceps.
Stop
From
exercise
those
and
kickbacks
switch
as
to
well,
the next
leftover.
station.
All right, so now, as promised, we're going to focus on just some bridges here. I'm going to use a ball, so if you have something to squeeze, I'd like you to use that. So we got those hips and outer legs earlier with the band. Now we're going to focus on the inner thighs in addition to that back side with the bridges. So you're squeezing that ball, squeezing the glutes, coming up and holding. And we're going to do a few just up and down. Focus on really engaging the glutes in the beginning, tucking the tailbone, coming up, squeezing that ball or squeezing the pillow, whatever you have to squeeze. If you don't have anything to squeeze, just put your feet together and squeeze your legs together. Okay, that works well too. And remember, arm position is another variable we can play with. The most stable position is having your arms down.
Stop
okay?
exercise.
A little bit less stable arms here, most unstable arms here. So obviously with more instability, you get a little bit more core activation. So you can play with those depending on what works for you. We are now going to squeeze the glutes, squeeze the ball, come up, and we're going to hold. And for this set, we're going to stay up. And we're just going to pulse squeeze the ball, okay? So my hips are not going up and down. Unless you've got a back that requires that. If you have a back where it feels better for you to go up and down, that's perfectly fine. If you're able to stay up here and really keep everything super tight, then I'd like you to try that. You're squeezing the glutes, you're squeezing that ball, you're squeezing your legs together. Abs are super tight.
Stop exercise.
Woo! It's kind of nice because it's just everything's kind of buttoned up. You know, you've got your glutes tight, you've got your abs tight, feeling those hammies, squeezing those inner thighs together. All right, so for those of you who would like to try the single leg option, I'm just going to add a single leg raise to this, and it's totally optional.
Begin set 3.
So it's going to look like this. I'm just going to extend one leg like that. Now I have not, tendency here is going to be for you to drop this hip. Do not drop the hip. Hips are going to be nice and even. And again, arms, you can go here, here, but you'll really feel the one leg working very hard to keep both your hips up. And your hips should stay nice and even here, ladies. And this is only if you want more of a challenge. If your back is strong, it's very challenging.
Stop exercise.
All right, and then relaxing those hammies. Best way to relax the hammies is to rest them straight out. Okay, that way they're not contracted, they can completely relax. All right, final set here. I'm gonna do the other leg, so squeezing the glutes,
Begin
I'm
set
coming up,
4.
I'm extending one leg, making sure that my hips stay nice and even. Head and neck is long through the crown. Breathing. And if you're keeping that ball, you've got a little pressure there, keeping those inner thighs working. Woo! How we doing, ladies? I am feeling this. Literally shaking the leg here. Both hips are nice and even. Almost finished here. Woo!
Stop exercise and
Nice
switch to the
work.
next station.
All right, so I think we're gonna do a combination of planks today, just for fun. We're gonna start with some side planks. We'll do 2 sets of side planks and 2 sets of front planks. And if those of you who can't do side planks or don't do side planks, just stick with the front. Remember that modified side plank is doable for most people, unless you have an acute shoulder issue. Elbow, hips, knees, all lined up. Extending that top leg is an option. I like to bring the arm up. Abs and glutes nice and tight. Of course, the more advanced version looks like this. Okay, so you have options there. And the side plank is great for keeping your back in a nice neutral position. Your glutes are tight, your abs are tight. And you should be feeling at some point the side right here.
Stop exercise.
Woo! Great. All right, let's switch to the other side. Same thing, you want to make sure the elbow, hips, and knees are lined up if you're doing that modified version. Elbows, hips, and feet lined up if you're doing the more advanced version.
Begin set 2.
And we're up, we're going, we're live. If you're doing the front plank, you're squeezing the glutes, pulling the abs in, just like we're doing here. Keeping that head and neck in a nice neutral position. And breathing, ladies. Ah, woo! Great job. A lot of bang for your buck on the planks. In case you haven't noticed, you got legs working, core working, upper body's working. Woo! Well done. I'm feeling that right side. I hope you are too. If you're doing
Stop
side plank.
exercise.
All right, so I'm going to switch to some front planks. Now, I see a lot of variations of planks around here. We're going to do a forearm plank, and I see a lot of this. And I'm going to challenge you to put your shoulders down, chest open, and have your hands in front of your
Begin
elbows.
set 3.
So you want to act as if you are tearing that floor apart with your hands. And that is going to maintain chest opening instead of rounding the shoulders. You're reaching for your heels, you're pulling the navel in, you're squeezing the glutes. Now remember, you have the option here, if you feel anything in your low back, just come down to the knees. Okay, maintain that plank position. Maybe you're feeling a little better, go back up. Holding. Breathing.
Stop exercise.
Awesome. On the break, I like to go into a little child's pose. Stretch out that lower back. Excellent. After this next plank, ladies, I have to run upstairs and teach, so I'm going to thank you all for joining me today. I hope you're doing well at home, and I hope to see you all in person soon.
Begin set 4.
So here's our final set. Let's give it all we got, ladies. Reaching through the heels, pulling the navel in, squeezing those glutes. Head and neck nice and neutral. If you want, you can throw in a little variation here, maybe a little sawing. Woo! Nice work, ladies. Keep strong. Finishing well here. Woo! Not leaving anything in the tank. Let's go. You got this. Seconds away.
Stop exercise.
Nice
Your training
job,
is now
ladies.
complete.
Great work. Thanks so much for coming today, and stay safe. Hope to see you soon.